What type of imbalance are you suffering from? Welcome to Nature's Mysteries Medicine Shows, episode 43. This evening we're talking about experience. Last week we went over the second type. The week before that we went over okay, start again. We went over last week the second type, the week before that the first type, and then the week before that we talked about symptoms of imbalances. So if you're wondering if you have an imbalance, this is a good episode to watch because you're going to learn about the third type of imbalance. But sometimes people experience symptoms and they don't even realize that they're symptoms of an imbalance. They just kind of think that that's part of life. I've had many folks tell me that the conditions or symptoms that they're experiencing, they just were going to adapt to and thought that this was part of life and that it was something that they were going to have to learn to live with, which isn't the case. Our bodies are not meant to be ill. We're meant to be healthy, robust, vibrant, and feel well. So if for some reason you're not, then you should look into what you can do to help yourself to feel better so that you have the energy to do the things you want to do and you feel more balanced. How does that sound? Does that sound good? Okay. So today you might notice I have a different background than usual. I'm actually visiting my daughter in St. Pete. So thank you for your patience, and things are a little different this time. And so let's get started. So the third type of imbalance that we're talking about is, anybody have any ideas? Anybody want to type anything in the comments before I tell you? So the first type of imbalance was a chemical imbalance, right? That could be caused by chemicals. The second type of imbalance was a physical imbalance that could be caused by some kind of trauma or injury. The third type of imbalance is an electromagnetic imbalance. So we know that every living cell in our body is vibrating at its own frequency, right? So we are electrical beings. We have our own vibration or frequency. Now, when we bring other, devices that emit their own frequency, it affects our frequency and our vibration. So what am I talking about? Like your cell phone, your Wi-Fi router, your computer, your gaming system, Bluetooth, all of those can affect your vibration negatively. There was actually a story when my husband was sick 7.5 years ago, and I was listening to all these doctors talk. There was actually an episode that I watched, and the patient that the doctor was speaking of had cancer, and they actually got rid of the cancer, and the person still felt so sick and they couldn't figure it out, and it ended up that there was actually a smart meter on the person's bedroom wall, and once they got rid of the smart meter, the person started feeling better. So you might think it's your diet, you might think that it's, stress related or not enough sleep. There's so many factors, but if you live near a 5G cell tower or something like that, or, some kind of power plant or electrical utility system, that has big towers, then that's emitting a lot of waves that are actually potentially can interfere with your vibration or frequency. And now we know that everything comes down to frequency. They know that we can actually heal our bodies with frequency. That's why they have sound healing. Sorry, I'm babysitting my daughter's dog for her, so you can see she's having difficulties because she wants to go out, and I'm not taking her out because I'm doing a show right now. So if you hear whining in the background, that's why. So, like we were saying, when actually my grandson is 17 now, and when he was in 4th grade, he came home and told us that his teacher told him not to sleep with your cell phone within 4 feet of your head. And I mean, that was like how long ago? Like 13 years ago. So they've known for a long time that cell phones can affect our vibration, and there's been cases where young girls in their 20s have gotten breast cancer when, usually someone wouldn't get breast cancer in their 20s. Usually it's something that happens later on in life, but from carrying your cell phone in your bra, sometimes people carry it in their pocket. So if you have nothing wrong with you, then it might not affect you in any adverse way and you're fine. Don't worry about it. But if you're someone who is battling illness, you have a condition, you have these symptoms that you're trying to alleviate, and it seems like you're doing things that people tell you to do that should help you feel better, but you're just not feeling better, that could have something to do with it. The electromagnetic smog that you could be experiencing, especially if you live in a city or something like that. Now, it's not as if there's nothing that you can do. There are some things that you can do. So, I don't know if you've ever heard of the stone shungite. It's actually from Russia. And shungite, it's kind of crazy, but it's actually an antioxidant. Yep, most antioxidants you hear of are in plants, right? Or foods or fruits. But this is actually a stone that is antioxidant, has antioxidant properties to it. And it also helps to neutralize harmful rays or waves. So they actually have shungite like a pyramid or a sphere or like a box that you could put on your coffee table in the middle of your room if you lived in an apartment and you felt like there was Wi-Fi waves coming all through and there's no way for you to stop it because you're in the city. There are things, like I said, you could get a shungite either pyramid, sphere, or box that you could put on in your surroundings. They also, you could put it on top of your computer, like on your desk or a Wi-Fi router. There's also some place called EMF Blues, and they have, it's like a crystal catalyst resonator ceramic, and those also neutralize and harmonize, sorry about that, neutralize and harmonize those harmful rays. So if you are looking for some way to alleviate symptoms other than plant medicine and all the things, meditation that you've tried and nothing's working, then that might be something that you want to look into. I can't show you my phone because I'm using it, but I actually have a little one. It's like that big, and I have it on the back of my phone, and I would strongly recommend it to anyone and everyone to have one. And, some people don't believe in it, and it's like, if it's not true, then, what did you really lose by having one on your phone? If it is true that it actually does neutralize those harmful waves, then you're neutralizing the harmful waves and it's making your immune system better, and all the systems in your body are going to perform better if you don't have any of that interference from electromagnetic smog or any of the other devices, gaming or cell phones or anything like that. So my advice to you would be to not sleep with your phone in your bedroom. I'm not saying not to have your phone on in case there was an emergency, but you could put it right outside your bedroom door. You would still hear it, and you would be sure that you didn't have any of that interference in your bedroom while you're sleeping. You could also not carry your cell phone on your body, just carry it in your hand, and when you get to where your bag or whatever, and when you get to where you're going, you just take it out and put it down at the place that you're at. Those are things that I would recommend doing just to make sure that if you are a cancer patient or someone who, like I said, has a chronic condition that you've been trying to feel better and it seems like nothing's really working, maybe it's an electromagnetic imbalance that you're dealing with, and these are some options for you that you can explore. So I hope that's helpful for you. And before we go, I just wanted to invite you to a spiritual summit that we'll be hosting March 30th. It's called Awaken the Divine Feminine Spiritual Summit. It's March 30th from 1 to 5 p.m. It's 4 hours. And I will be interviewing educators who are actually in the metaphysical realm that have helped me host retreats in the past at the Women's Empowerment and Spiritual Awakening Retreats, our sister page. And they will also be, some of them will be joining us at our future retreats. So we'll be interviewing some of them, and they'll have some tips and advice, some knowledge for you. Sorry about the dog barking. And we'll also be talking about some astrology and empowerment. Let's see, gemstone therapy. We'll do some chakra cleansing. So we'd love to have you join us for this event. And there's something really big that we've been working on at Women's Empowerment and Spiritual Awakening Retreats. And we will be announcing that at the Spiritual Summit. So if you're interested in what this big thing is that we've been working on at the retreats, you can tune in, join, sign up either at naturesmysteries.com or on Eventbrite, and reserve your space to come to the Awaken the Divine Feminine Spiritual Summit, where we'll be exploring spiritual tools of mysticism to awaken the Divine Feminine. And we'd love to have you join us. So, thank you for joining us today on Nature's Mysteries Medicine Show, when this was the last episode of our Types of Imbalances series for the whole month of February. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time when you discover the essence of plant medicine. Thanks so much. Take care.